Most men think strength is something you show. They think it's loud, physical, obvious, a display others can't ignore. But real strength is quieter. It's eternal. It's the ability to control yourself so fully that other men expose their weakness simply trying to test you. No figure in history understood this better than Tsukahara Bokuden, a swordsman so skilled, so disciplined, that he won battles without ever drawing his blade. And one encounter in particular reveals a truth every man needs to learn. Bokuden was traveling on a ferry across Lake Biwa. An ordinary trip, nothing dramatic. He was older now, seasoned, calm, and with a presence people respected, even without knowing his reputation. On the boat was a young samurai, strong, energetic, impatient. The kind of man who believed skill meant proving himself to anyone who looked at him too long. He noticed Bokuden's posture, straight, relaxed, confident without trying. And like insecure men often do, he interpreted calm as a challenge. He walked over and said loudly, "Old man, what school of swordsmanship do you practice?" Bokuden answered quietly, "I practice the art of winning without fighting." The young samurai laughed so hard the boat shook. "That's not swordsmanship. That's cowardice." But Bokuden wasn't moved. He simply said, "You fight to prove yourself. I fight only when I must. That is why I am still alive." The young samurai didn't like that answer, not because it was disrespectful, but because it was true. The young man raised his voice. "Fight me now. Show everyone this art of yours." The other passengers grew silent. Some looked afraid. Others looked curious. Bokuden studied the young man for a moment, not with fear, but with clarity. He saw a man ruled by impulse, a man desperate for validation, a man whose ego made him predictable. So Bokuden said, "We should not fight on the boat. Someone could get hurt. Let's go to that island there, and we will duel." The young samurai agreed immediately. He jumped off the boat as soon as they reached the shore. He stood on the sand, sword drawn, shouting, "Come, old man, show me your skill." Bokuden stepped off the boat, then immediately pushed it back into the water and jumped in, allowing the current to pull him away from the island. The young samurai stared in disbelief. Bokuden looked at him calmly and said, "You see, you have already lost. You fight for pride, and pride blinds you." The boat drifted farther. The young man remained stranded on the island, holding a sword against an opponent who never needed to appear. The lesson hit harder than any duel he could have fought. Bokuden's victory wasn't physical. It was psychological. It rested on 3 principles every man should master. Number 1, the reactive man is always the weakest man. The young samurai reacted to everything. Bokuden's age, Bokuden's calm, Bokuden's lack of aggression. This made him easy to predict and even easier to manipulate. Stoics warned about this. If someone can provoke you, they can control you. The young samurai thought he was in charge. He wasn't. His emotions were. Number 2, ego wants to win the moment. Wisdom wants to win the outcome. The young samurai wanted a public victory. He wanted noise, attention, recognition. Bokuden didn't care about the performance. He cared about the result. That's the difference between men who exhaust themselves and men who move through the world with power. Number 3, The strongest man is the one who decides the terms of the engagement. Bokuden refused to fight on the young man's terms. He refused to react to someone else's energy. And when you refuse to let someone else dictate the field, you take away their power. Modern life is the same. Arguments, conflicts, challenges, disrespect, competition. Most people lose because they fight battles they didn't choose. Bokuden didn't. He chose when, where, and how. That is mastery. Every man faces situations where someone tries to pull him into a fight. Not always physical, but emotional, social, or psychological. Someone tries to provoke you, disrespect you, bait you, challenge your ego, push your boundaries, force a reaction. Most men take the bait. They react fast. They escalate. But here's the truth. A man ruled by impulse is easy to defeat. A man ruled by pride loses battles he never needed to fight. And a man who shows his emotions at every poke is handing power to the world around him. Bokuden teaches something different. You don't have to respond to every challenge. You don't have to fight every opponent. You don't have to prove your strength. Sometimes the most dominant move is to walk away on your terms, not theirs. Because the moment you stop reacting, you stop being controlled. Bokuden didn't need a sword to win, because the real victory wasn't the duel, it was the discipline. Men today want to be strong, but strength isn't loud. It isn't aggressive. It isn't reactive. Strength is the ability to stay calm while someone else tries to pull you out of yourself. Bokuden mastered that. And if you learn to master it too, you'll win battles you never even have to fight.